Hello, my name is Preciado. I'm a local San Jose artist. I've been doing workshops and shows and exhibitions and curating for the last 30 years, I think. Jersey City, SoCal, and now San Jose have been my main exhibition and curating places. I love teaching workshops. I've taught for Newark, San Jose Museum, Jersey City Museum, basically all over the country, and I really enjoy it. I love kids. In fact, when I paint live murals, I always invite them to paint with me, and they always do. And I hope that some little kid sees this workshop and gets inspired to do his own thing. But when I was a little boy, about 4 years old, there was a telephone pole in our backyard. And the telephone guy saw me playing with leaves and old shoes and stuff, and I guess he felt sorry for me. He threw down a bunch of wire, beautiful colored wire like this. It's so gorgeous. And it was pliable and bendable, and it had color. And I created huge armies, wire army, foil army, clay army. And that's really how I got into art, because I loved materials and feeling them and putting them together. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do an angel, starting from the core, and then we're going to do other forms, a kitty cat, maybe a doggy, whatever we have time for, I'd like to show you. But I'll start with the main thing, because I think angels are going to be really big in a couple of months, okay? Right here is an angel midway through. Usually I take the whole thing down and I paint it with acrylics, probably the best thing to use. You can actually spray it too, but if you spray it with a spray can, I would definitely use a primer of some sort, like an acrylic white primer or a black primer, and that'll give it some strength, because if you just spray straight on the tape, sometimes what happens is the tape kind of withers a little bit because it's a strong paint, the enamel. But you can see I'm working on the angel wings. I'll probably add tape to that. And I'm going to make sure it's secure on the base. That's why I use the wire and a nail. It's a great way to pose ballerinas too, because sometimes they're on one toe. I like ballerinas because to me, they don't just represent beauty, they represent strength. And to me, it's a powerful symbol, especially for 2020. I'm painting my rainbow cat, and sometimes I use a rainbow flag as a starting point. Today I'm just going to use a complementary color scheme, which is colors opposite of each other on the color wheel. That would be orange and blue. I like to modulate the color, which means change it either via tone or by tint. So I'm going to add a little blue on the edge, and then I'm going to kind of paint it into the blue I already have. And I just like the way it looks on a kitty cat, especially. When I'm making little war dogs, I tend to have a chaotic color scheme, but with kitty cats, they're such gentle creatures. Just want to have something that's kind of blends in with their character, basically. Now, I'm a really rough shod kind of painter. I don't believe in straight edges. I don't believe in being neat and precise. That's for other artists. I just like to make a mess and be a slob because I can be, and because I'm old and nobody gives me a hard time. So now I'm going to switch to orange, and I'm going to modulate that too. I like to use a lot of brushes. Sometimes it takes me a while to find the brush I want, but I'd rather have options than not. It cracks me up when I was teaching how students would use one brush for an entire painting. And I would say, I can't believe you. Can't you use more brushes? I mean, give yourself a little variety at least. It was a tough lesson for them to learn. But I learned it. And when you're doing sculpture painting, it's not really the same as painting on a canvas because you're worried about the structure of the painting. In a sculpture, the structure's already there. So essentially what you're trying to do is make the paint work around the structure that you've built already. You can see I'm using white now because I'm going to blend it right into the sky blue. And again, there is nothing sublime or lyrical about the way I paint. I've always been this way. I started off doing murals and I was just as messy back then. But as I've mentioned before, I don't really care. If I'm happy while I'm painting, that's the main thing. And that's really the lesson I'd love to give to children is, because they always ask me when they're painting with me on live murals, what do I do? What should I do? I go, do whatever you want. Just don't listen to an adult. They don't know what they're talking about. So now I'm going to modulate the orange a little bit with some red. And I'm going to add it on the edge closest to the blue. So there's kind of a gentle blending that happens. So the tones are coming together even if the colors are not the same. And I'll keep painting and painting on this until I get what I want. But that shows you kind of my working process, very liberated, very undisciplined, filled with flaws and errors. But I've been doing it this way for 30 years. So far, it's worked. And there we go.